Opening in theaters this week from Universal Pictures is the comedy Cocaine Bear, and here's my review. Real life can sometimes inspire even wacky premises for comedy, and there's a lot that can be done with the idea of a bear who eats a bunch of cocaine, something that actually happened in 1985. The bear in this instance died shortly afterwards, but director Elizabeth Banks and writer Jimmy Warden have decided to ignore that detail. There are enough laughs sprinkled throughout Cocaine Bear, and it moves at a decent clip. So while the film does not exactly reach its full potential, there remains amusement in its stupidity. Cocaine Bear functions as an ensemble film, although the standout is absolutely the bear. Created by the talented visual effects artist at Weta Digital, this bear is responsible for some of the highlights of the movie, and one frequently awaits her appearances. The human actors certainly do what's required of them, but the concept is at its best when they're playing off this bear who now has a hankering for the famous white drug. Banks does not skimp on the carnage and bloodshed when the bear goes for the attack, and she gains humor out of how much the body count builds. However, the bear does more than claw people to death. The absurdity of the concept is taken some advantage of as the characters try to figure out what's going on. Probably the funniest unbear-related moments involve a couple of children who come across the cocaine packets, and the notion of them being fascinated by these drugs does cross the line into funny. Another hilarious scene involves a pair of paramedics, one of whom is played by Scott Cease, the creator of those viral IKEA employee videos. One of the storylines involving a few drug dealer friends does take a while to find its footing, as their scenes don't provide too much in the way of comedy. Eventually the movie does find a funny use for them, and it's also good to see Ray Liotta in what is sadly one of his final film roles. Not every joke hits, and these are all simply drawn characters that one does not exactly get attached to. However, Banks and her editor, Jill Negron, know how to keep the story moving and don't linger too much on one scene. When the film reaches the end of its 90 minutes, it feels like the entire movie has gone by in a flash. The filmmakers clearly understood this was an idea that did not need to be longer than that, and one appreciates its brevity. Cocaine Bear is hardly a groundbreaking comedy by any means, as it relies on very silly jokes. However, that's the only way to go about this material. Elizabeth Banks uses the real-life story as a fun jumping-off point to play with this human versus nature story. The computer-generated bear is the star of the show, and it's often a delight when that beast appears on screen and either starts devouring someone or acting like a stoner. Cocaine Bear absolutely has no pretensions about what it's trying to be, as it mostly wants to put together some funny set pieces. Even if one scene does not click, there's one just around the corner that does bring amusement as the bear goes on her drug-addled rampage.